Imagine a world without light, where the setting sun brought not peace, but a primal, gut-wrenching fear. This was the reality for our earliest ancestors. Night was a monster, a cloak for unseen predators, a time of chilling cold and terrifying sounds from the deep, dark woods. The only defense, the only comfort, was the fire, a small, flickering circle of warmth and light, pushing back the immense, suffocating darkness. But then, something changed. As the flames danced and the shadows retreated, a new feeling began to stir within the human heart, something stronger than fear, curiosity. For the first time, our ancestors dared to look beyond their small circle of fire, beyond the immediate threats lurking in the bushes. They looked up, and what they saw would change humanity forever. An endless, velvet blackness, not empty, but filled with a million tiny, brilliant lights that didn't flicker or die. This wasn't just a discovery, it was an awakening. It was the birth of wonder, of imagination, and the very first questions about our place in the universe. Let's travel back to one of those nights. The hunt was successful, the clan is fed. The fire, once a roaring blaze, has burned down to glowing, pulsing embers. A child, too restless to sleep, stares into the dying flames. As their gaze drifts upward, they see it. Countless glowing dots, scattered across the vast, dark canvas above. They've seen them before, of course, but tonight is different. They look over at the still, dark water of a nearby pool and see the same lights reflected, dancing on the surface. They're not just in the sky, they're here, with us. The child points, a grunt of surprise escaping their lips. An elder, following their gaze, lets out a soft murmur of awe. One by one, the clan turns their eyes from the dying fire on the ground to the eternal fire in the sky. This single moment of shared observation sparked a revolution. Night after night, it became a ritual. As the fire softened, the clan would gather, their faces tilted towards the heavens. They weren't just looking anymore, they were studying. They started to see shapes. A young hunter traces a line with his finger, connecting a few bright points. "Orak," he whispers, seeing the horns and powerful body of the beast they hunted that day. An old woman sees another pattern, the gentle curve reminding her of the great river that gives them life. They were drawing the first maps of the cosmos, not on stone, but in their minds, imprinting these celestial animals and heroes onto their collective memory. These weren't just stars. They were stories, legends, and the faces of ancestors watching over them. But the sky was not a static painting. It was alive, and it was confusing. Some nights, a familiar pattern would be missing, or it would have shifted its position. The bright, wandering star they called the Lone Hunter would appear in a different part of the sky each week. Where did it go? Why did it move? The moon, a comforting slice of silver, would grow fat and round, then shrink away to nothing, only to be reborn again. This unpredictability was frustrating. Their early attempts to make sense of it all were met with failure. Their mental maps were constantly wrong. The sky was a grand, beautiful puzzle, and they didn't have the pieces. This confusion didn't lead them back to fear, though. It fueled an even deeper obsession. The questions grew more complex. The desire to understand became a driving force, a nightly quest for knowledge. Slowly, painstakingly, over generations of watching, the chaos began to resolve into order. They started to recognize the grand, repeating cycles. They realized that the appearance of a certain group of stars, what we now call a constellation, heralded the coming of the cold months. Another cluster signaled the time when the salmon would run thick in the rivers. The sky became their clock and their calendar. The steady, unmoving star in the north became their compass, a reliable guide when they traveled across unfamiliar lands. The night was no longer a source of terror. It had become a source of comfort, predictability, and profound wisdom. The stars transformed from mysterious sparks into trusted friends, guiding their seasons, their hunts, and their journeys. They had achieved a form of mastery, not by controlling the stars, but by understanding their rhythm and finding their own place within it. Think about that incredible leap, from cowering around a small fire, terrified of what the darkness held, to standing tall and reading a map of the universe written in light. In looking up at the stars, our ancestors didn't just find a way to navigate the land. They found something far more important. They found meaning. They discovered a connection between their small, fragile lives on Earth and the vast, silent, and eternal unknown above. The stars were the first proof that there was a larger order, a rhythm to existence that they were a part of. It was the first step towards science, towards philosophy, towards religion. It was the moment humanity realized we are not just creatures living on the Earth, but children of the cosmos, looking up and wondering where we came from. And as the first light of dawn began to paint the eastern sky, washing away the stars, a new mystery presented itself. On the leaves of the plants, on the cool surface of the stones, tiny droplets of water sparkled like fallen stars. This water, which seemed to appear from nowhere, gave life to everything it touched. What was this magical gift from the sky? Where did it come from? That is a story for next time, when we explore the discovery of dew rain and the life-giving rivers they create. Thank you for joining me on this journey back in time. If you enjoyed this glimpse into our deep past, please hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss our next adventure. See you then.